Hello, everyone. Welcome to Puzzle Wednesday Friday mode. This is everybody's favorite Wednesday on a Friday. It's the Wednesday of weeks that begin, I think, on Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it's weeks that begin on Tuesday. It might be Monday. No, it's definitely Tuesday. Anyways, joining me on the microphone tonight, I have Juicey.
I think I'm having an aneurysm.
No, you're not. And I also have the developer of Dr. Thongs, writer of Wrongs, joining us tonight, BoatsAndJoes. How are you?
I'm good. Also, I'm half of the development team, so our artist couldn't be here just because of there's some kind of zone of time on the globe.
It's time zone.
Very late for that's a good name for it.
Wow. That's incredible.
So they couldn't make it for that reason, but I'm here representing both of us.
Incredible. Well, I hope that you are twice the personality to make up for some of this incredible art that we have. All right, we're going to head on over to the game capture zone. Our hardworking... Oh, that's the incorrect... is the incorrect screen. Why does it look like that? Here we go. Hell yeah. Be careful who you call ugly in middle school. So this game is a sort of a fan recreation of It's Mr. Pants by Rareware on the Game Boy Advance. But he's grown up a little bit, hasn't he?
Yes, that is true.
He is a huge man now.
Yes. Yes, we are huge fans of It's Mr. Pants. But Mr. Pants is a lovely character, but we're also good at character design, it turns out. So we like to design big men.
Huge lads, as it were.
I'm sorry. Was there a question, or you're just
no? You know what? We're just out here declaring facts about this game. Absolutely. About making, from my understanding, rectangles bigger than equal to or bigger than 3x2 rectangles.
Yes, that is correct.
We're out here. We're making squares. We're trying to get rectangular, and trying to interrupt our opponent as well. We're going to be getting into match in a second. I just need to control the bot with my mind. My mind control powers.
That feels kind of arbitrary at this point, but we do have first stream match is going to be Rodney versus the Dev, which if there is someone to upset the balance, it's usually Rodney. He figures out games in -2 minutes.
Yes, this is a round-robin tournament tonight. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. We are getting... everyone's got a lot of showtime both to play and just to show off the game itself. But I really want to make sure that, especially for the size of bracket, given the hoops we had to jump through to get this up and running, everyone gets their money's worth.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of excited to commentate this one because... It is a shared board game, which means you can always commit direct violence against your opponent. And luckily, we have probably the two lords of direct violence. So I'm just going to enjoy Rodney's and Rattz's matches for all they're worth.
Yes, I am too. I should mention I'm not the absolute Dr. Thongs master. That's really Luna, our artist, is a stronger Thongs player than I am.
Stronger Thongs player.
I will do my best. I'm not bad. I've cleared very hard mode and so on, but
so
it took me till long after the game release to do that.
So just to briefly overview what you're seeing on the screen here, player 1 is trying to clear all of the red and yellow squares off of the screen, while their opponent is trying to clear all of the yellow and teal, or the blue and teal squares off of the screen. So all of these players are trying to interrupt their opponent's shapes while also trying not to contribute more to their color on the board. So players
it definitely feels like it shares some DNA with like how much of the manipulating RNG that's required in like Wario's Woods or the Taito Puzzlers.
Sure.
I love Wario's Woods.
Player one is Rodrick is very overcommitted to these shapes. He's gonna have to find a way to trim them down. But
so yeah, that's the thing I'm noticing is like, and I don't know if it's just because Rodney's
brand new to this game, I think. Yeah.
Functionally, in versus, it doesn't seem like going for big moves is really the play at all.
Yes,
not often.
If you notice that your opponent is making a big shape, it becomes easier to disrupt it because it's this big honking thing with a little piece cut out, and it's like, oh no, I am depending on a very specific thing now.
Just throw a little single tile in the middle of it.
Yes, exactly.
I also apologize ahead of time. You're gonna hear some unsavory language in my matches. It's just gonna happen.
This game does bring out like the hatred. Like I won't lie to you. Like
I won't dislike any of my staff members.
Oh wow, that was a beautiful clear on that blue shape. Jesus Christ. Let's go.
I will point out I have made a mistake, so I only have blue left now, which is kind of nice.
Oh my god, okay.
It's also a bit messy because like I was dependent on specifically, like I didn't have two colors anymore, so that reduces my flexibility.
But you got really lucky when Rodrick actually cleared your last shape for you.
That's what we call interaction or reverse violence. I've had reverse violence.
Reverse violence? I can't believe it.
It's actually very, very difficult to not accidentally help your opponent in versus mode. That's something that it's kind of an interesting quality of the game.
I like the volatility of that.
It's actually like a normal, like that happens in shared board games every now and again. So like Mouse Shooter Go-Go has the same sort of vibe.
Yes, this game does sort of play similarly to the way that Mouse Shooter Go-Go.
I don't know so much about Weltress. I don't think my line clears have helped my opponent out that much, but that game is great.
Harder. But it leans on the more, if you intentionally disrupt your opponent, it's like fatal instead of, that's just inconvenient.
Yep. I love how Rodrick just tore apart Joe's shape in the lower right, and now I'm dueling about it a little bit.
I'm a little bit cringing. You know, it's actually very interesting, like, just, this doesn't matter unless you're making the game, but when you're testing the game, it's actually way, way, way easier to make your opponent win than to win yourself.
Oh, sure.
Because you can just cover up all of their pieces with your pieces to wipe them off the board.
True.
And that is kind of interesting, but of course I want to win the tournament, so I will not be taking advantage of that.
We have a lot of time left on the clock for how progressed this board is. Rodrick only has a couple shapes left. He can probably start dedicating some time to harassment, but
he's starting to get some ideas though, compared to like even just round one.
Ooh, we have the weird T piece at the top. Yeah, okay, we'll snip it off with the pink, but Rodrick's back to harassing. He's free.
I don't like what you've done here. It's upsetting.
Oh my god, incredible.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're cleaning up. Let's go.
He could do some stuff here. Oh, he's starting to.
Oh, he's scheming. Yeah, Rodrick adapts really fast. Like,
it's on some levels it's infuriating.
Wow, he managed to get that blue shape before, or Boats was able to get that blue shape before Rodrick was able to interrupt. It's incredible.
There's not a lot of time left.
BoatsAndJoes may need to disrupt this yellow shape soon. Oh my god, no! Rodrick,
Okay, so
taking a point.
Rodrick. But wait, okay, before we start the next one, what exactly is the win conditions for when it goes to decision like that?
US pieces.
So it counts the number of pieces that are remaining for that player, and whoever has fewer wins.
That's what I thought, but it looks like if you resolved that yellow, it was going to put you under. Did it just happen to not count that before the?
I will have to go back and check it later.
Like that was a photo finish right there.
Yeah, it was really close. That it's very exciting. Okay, what's the score? All right, it's
1-1. Yep.
So this one is for all the marbles.
This is for all the beans, as it were.
Yes.
You can lose to Rodney potentially and still win the round robin event.
So this game is very closely inspired by It's Mr. Pants. Like, clearly they are very similar for those who are familiar with it, which is probably not a ton of people. Oh no, I just helped.
You're at least at the right space for people to know what.
Yeah, but I guess what I'll just say is that it is a little bit different. So the way that the board is set up in this game is a bit messier than, well, it's quite a bit messier than how it's set up in It's Mr. Pants. So in the absolute hardest difficulty, they're pretty close, but It's Mr. Pants does have multiple easier difficulties that you can pick from to get started in your pantsing journey.
Incredible.
So starting out, there are a couple people who have started out on this game and have finished, like they've actually worked their way up and done some good accomplishments, and I'm actually very happy to see that.
Hell yeah.
Because it means that people really like it. But yeah, it just popped into my mind when I saw the starting board for this versus, because it was very messy. I thought.
Absolutely, especially when your opponent's constantly interacting with your shapes. Speaking of which, Rodrick committed to this yellow shape up top, really looking for the one piece. A little poke from BoatsAndJoes disrupting it, but Rodrick keeps on drawing these huge L's, and
just like always.
Sometimes not always willing to commit a piece. Yeah, okay, we finally did trim off the shape a little bit. It does leave you with an orphan piece, but like, if you leave an orphan of an L or a 1x2, it's very trivial to make a rectangle out of it.
That's the thing that I've found most difficult in this, is knowing how to like tactically make skims.
Yes. Yeah, so every a lot of the piece shapes have like a specific shape vocabulary that you should learn to rapidly make 3x2s really, really fast. And when you get down, when you get better at that, the game actually opens up significantly. We have a lot of fighting here. Rodrick,
honest to God, neutral.
Rodrick desperately wants to clear any of these shapes, but they're so big that Joe can poke basically anywhere, and it is kind of terrifying.
There it is.
Close. This is really great for the trailer, the back and forth poking each other. I was really happy with that. I think it's really exciting to watch.
Well, congratulations.
Maybe it's just extremely overwhelming, but that was really fun.
Hell yeah.
I'm ready to get rolled later, or for Rodrick to come back and roll everybody and get first place, but that was a very fun first game.
Alrighty then. Next stream match is going to be myself and Ardrox. So, hosting.
Oh, whoops. We are showing the Discord.
Hello, everybody.
Okay.
You don't belong there. You need to chill out and just hang out in the no looky zone. Hang out in the look at this beautiful background. Look at that beautiful background.
Maybe you want to workshop.
You need to look at that. Listen.
What if they want to looky?
No. No looky. All right, hang on. We are able to view the stream. Yes, I know the bot does not have microphone permissions. That's by design.
Yeah. So Ardrox should be able to see my rat. Okay, we got the connected there.
Hell yeah.
And we have everyone spectating.
Yeah, the bot's ready.
Cool.
And we're off to the races already. Juicey played a little bit of this with me,
so
but
big.
this board is a little big and a little bit spooky. And we are going to have a little bit of Ardrox immediately being like, "Oh yeah, L and 1x2. They're friends. They've always been friends."
Yes, this is stuff that our artist understands that I don't really yet. I'm still learning.
Mm-hmm.
We're all learning to thongs.
A little. You know what? We're not actually. It's dangerous to joke about this game. Do you know that?
A little, possibly, but we enjoy it. We enjoy a bit of danger, as you can see. There's lots of danger happening.
Lots of danger happening. Of course, I get so hyper focused on like one aspect. It's like,
Juicy, you have covered the screen in your color. Like,
I'm trying my best.
You gotta figure out how to break these shapes up a little bit.
I ask you not to judge me so harshly.
Huge clear from Ardrox. We're off to the races. It is kind of an issue when you are really far ahead versus your opponent, and then you draw an L, and you're like, "Well, this doesn't fit anything." So
yes. My way of handling L's is I start a new thing, because an L doesn't attach to many other shapes very well, but if you place the L first, there are actually a lot of shapes that you can use to either cut up or build the L into a rectangle.
Sure.
But yes, wow, this is a really interactive and wild game. It's very interesting. So if for those in the chat who have not played this kind of game before, there's a couple of different things that you want to do. Like, other than your opponent messing up your plans, you want to make small shapes. If your shape is too big, you're relying too much on specific pieces and your opponent can disrupt you. So you want to make kind of small rectangles. And if it's big, you want to chop it up into small pieces, which actually works very well. So even though these shapes, some of the red and yellow ones are big, they can be chopped up into small rectangles reasonably well.
Ardrox having actually surprisingly struggling with the end game. Because this game is a little brutal.
It's definitely like it changes towards the end into like a different kind of game almost. Especially when you only have 2 colors to place. So in the full game, you're placing all of the colors. In single player, I mean. And in some of the multiplayer modes, but in this mode, you only have 2, so it restricts the kind of stuff that you can do.
A little bit of
keep it in mind and think ahead.
A little bit of late game turtling from Ardrox, managing to take the point from Juicey. We're back in it. Next round.
In like the 3rd ever versus mode game that we played internally, I sat on a lead because I was like, okay, there's 5 seconds left. I don't think that my opponent can catch up. And then they did, and they won. So, like, turtling, you want to be careful because sometimes people will surprise you with just how quick they can clean out something that I thought for sure they wouldn't be able to clean out quick enough.
Especially, like you're able to move much faster when people aren't interacting with you, or you don't have to sweat it. So,
that's true.
Like, it's okay to turtle a little bit, but if you wait too long, your opponent's going to read your intentions and stop looking at you and go back to doing whatever the hell they want to do.
Yes. And another thing about, so for those who have not played this kind of game before, again, the main thing is you don't want to place a piece on empty space, because that's just creating more garbage for you to mess up. But if you cover up your other color, then you're doing two things at once. You're making a shape and you're removing some of your other pieces that you're going to have to clean up. But this mode has an additional consideration, which is you really, really don't want to put a piece on top of your opponent's color, because you are making things messier for yourself and cleaner for them at the same time. So if you're going to do that, you want to do it in such a way that it disrupts them instead of helping them. Oh no, it's the wrong L. That's that's a J.
I'm trying my hardest.
Yeah, it's in this game they're the same color. In Tetris they are different colors. Also in this game, all the pieces are coming in different orientations. Sometimes they come in upside down, so that can make it difficult to figure out the correct L. The hardest thing to do in any puzzle game, figure out the difference between left and right.
True. Or
Also,
count past.
Counting is really hard.
Yeah. That's a regular joke here, is that we can't count past 3 or whatever.
Yes.
Like, it's so...
Excuse you, it's 4?
Oh, is it 4?
Yeah.
Welcome to the stream, Beth Bet. Yeah. Counting is the worst. Not a fan.
Yeah.
You see the board. The whole board. It's your color.
I so want to have all 4 colors.
It's lovely.
Jeez.
Oh no.
Congratulations to Ardrox. We're playing round robin, so everybody's going to get a shot at playing, but it's going to be me versus BoatsAndJoes in a second.
Yes, it's a really fun game to play and brings out a lot of emotions. Not all of them are fun. Some of them are sadness and anger.
I
But
don't know Ardrox, so I can't swear at them.
overall, it creates a lovely dynamic, like when you feel some pain and some elation. It's very spiky and lovely.
I am learning. I can feel it. But I am woefully inadequate for tonight.
F. Do I have this correct? All right, 1 second. I'm going to... Oh, can I transition?
Which side is hosting? Am I joining?
I'm going to be hosting.
Okay.
Because it just makes my life easier.
Yes.
I do have to change the scoreboard real quick. And I need to get some audio in here. Audio application.
You know, no matter who wins this tournament, I have won the tournament because Luna and I have made the winner possible. You know what I mean? Like, if we hadn't made the game, they couldn't win.
Now, Rodney could still win.
Oh, no, I don't have that, come to think of it.
I get it.
We just helped a little.
He'll just manifest the game in his mind.
Alrighty. So, you're already connected. You know, you might be a gamer, huh? Might just be ready.
I would not be that accusatory.
You would not be that accusatory? Alright. Well, we're in it.
Another thing is, there's 4 songs after this match.
Amazing.
Yes, they're lovely. Luke Berg, I think, wrote them. I need to check the name to be sure, but we love his music, and maybe check out his links. They're in the credits of the game. Maybe we'll check them after his SoundCloud, etc. But yes, I love house music, so it was a perfect vibe. Oh, why did you do that to me?
Who, me? Oh, me?
I don't like some of these shapes that I have are too, like, look at that big blue one and the big enormous green one down here. I'm gonna chop that up. or it'll get covered by a yellow a little. Oh, anyway, both players have the same music track. It's synchronized.
Ooh,
That's
Hell yeah.
I was gonna
You need
say
to
like
know what the vibe is.
game audio is muted
Oh, the game audio is muted. Hang on.
between sets. These things happen. But for those in the know, we definitely have a little bit of pregame chat behind the beginning bumper. And about everyone in this conversation here can code but me. So I can only really remark, man, the whole aesthetic behind this package is amazing. Like,
Yes.
visuals, art, music. Brother, you created a vibe.
Yes,
It works.
yes. So our artist is UK based. So they couldn't be here tonight just because of, like I said, time zones earlier. But I really, really loved working with them. And we're probably going to make another game again. It probably won't be a puzzle game. We're thinking maybe an RPG or a small RPG.
Fair.
But yeah, we really liked making the game too. So
That's
we're
so
going to work
weird.
together. Or keep doing it. Maybe not right away. We're definitely going to do another one.
I might not. I don't know why this application input capture is not doing the thing.
Couldn't tell you.
It's kind of brutal. Hate to hold this up a little bit.
Yeah. Do you want me to host? Does that help, or does that not help?
It could help. You know what? Why don't you host? And I'll use the bot to view. We're going to copy that ding dangle IP address. So I'm joined. Do not start the game just yet.
Yes.
I have to turn this off. We're going to.
Oh, sorry. I have to be ready to do it.
I'm silly. I don't need you. I don't need you to stream. I don't actually go back.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
hosting.
Okay.
No, it's because I was in studio mode. You can't add audio sources when you are in studio mode,
That's true.
which is funny. I'm ready when you are.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah. Let me join.
Streaming is not difficult. It's the amount of like overlapping technology that I'm dealing with here.
No, that's understandable. It's an acceptable amount of technical difficulty.
There we
in
go.
my opinion.
Thank you.
You just gotta keep a bunch of post-it notes all over your wall.
Yeah.
That's all. Remind you of all the overlapping stuff that you've forgotten about 3 years.
I am trying to banish from my memory how hard running Salt Road was. That show's really hard.
That's not even a year old yet.
I was just giggling to myself because I was like, "Oh, I didn't understand why the thing didn't clear." And it's like, "Oh, somebody plonked a little yellow thing right in the middle of it."
You know,
Someone's just being a little obnoxious.
Yeah.
Ooh, me?
Wonder who?
Silly.
little old me.
Little old you? I would never accuse you.
Okay, that was I anti disrupted you. I just helped you out a little, cleaned up a real messy shape.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just, we like to help. We it's because I was just thought it was co-op mode,
You're just a kind soul. I get it. Like you play Smash. You give the homie stock. I get it.
Disruption actually gets better and better as it goes on, because if someone disrupts you early, it's like, okay, I can just do something else for a bit.
Exactly.
But later, it's like, well, this was my only shape, and now it's an enormous mess.
When you're down to like 2 or 3 targets left, yeah, that seems like a pretty good time to just throw a J in the middle of a square.
No.
No.
Funny.
You win.
Man, Ratttz is so good.
Yeah.
I've played a decent amount of this video. So for the record, I fucking love this game. I love this game so much. I have cleared very hard mode. My PB, I think I have like 20 seconds remaining. Like, I just really, really enjoy this game, and I'm so grateful that you made it.
No. You like this game so much that you chose this slot for your birthday.
True. I did actually choose this slot for my birthday.
This is happy birthday Ratttz time, and I got Ratttz a present. Well, we all did.
Kinda, yeah.
The people who made the game and the people who are playing and the people who are watching are all giving Ratttz a lovely present today.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. It sure is kind of like, this is such a beautiful, sunshiny game to be playing in the middle of the darkness. Like, it's so dark here. Do you have any idea?
As an East Coaster, yeah. It's very dark at 9:02. Thank you.
So I do want to take a moment to really appreciate our lovely artist Lunaticker, who just really wholesale created the whole vibe. So I picked the music, and I had the game and the music, and Luna was like, I got this, and just made it into the most incredible looking package. But of course, like, when you ask each of us, we're like, oh, the other person did everything, you know. But that's, I think, the sign of a really fun and good collaboration. So, and people really seem to be, even though the game is very difficult, like, it's not even the easy mode is called, we put a couple quote marks around easy because it's not always so easy after all. But people, I think, are really enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's good.
I'm gonna get started.
All right, so go ahead. This looks weirdly clean.
Yes, it varies, but always the two players have the same amount of stuff to clear.
Oh, interesting.
So it's balanced in that way. But the balance between the two colors could vary as well. So it's possible that you could have a lot of red and just a little bit of yellow, but you're going to have the same amount overall. So it's fair.
Sick.
But on the other hand, sometimes one player is more skilled, and sometimes one player has had a lot more time to practice because they made it the game. So, you know,
pretty typical. Pretty typical external factors, huh?
Yeah, but the game does have rollback netcode, so both players don't really experience a lot of latency while playing, and it actually works extremely well. So I've never made it before. But yeah, it's a lot of, it feels very smooth.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I played a free game with netcode. Like, I've played a free game with netcode that fell off the back of a truck, but I haven't played an official release that has beautiful netcode. I guess Pedal Crash now. Pedal Crash Online is free.
Yes,
you can go play that. But
this is a great. I was about to say it was a very great and pleasing board, but it has just gotten messy because people have just started attacking each other.
It's really a slugfest out here. Like, both these players will not. You know, you can just chill.
Leave me alone, so I won't leave.
Yes, I love how, like, there is a lot of room for different, like, play styles. Like, I'm going to make a big shape, leave me alone, or I'm going to attack you a lot, or I'm, you know, lots of different ways that you can play the game. And the game is difficult, so you want to try all of them. You're like, maybe this will help me out a little bit. Oh, the timer's getting low. Maybe I'll try doing this now. It could give me an advantage. But it's a constant journey of discovery that I have been enjoying. And I think during this tournament, people are going to be learning and trying different things. Like, I just learned that attacking gets better as the game goes on. That's not something that I knew before. So very interesting. A great game.
Oh man, looks like Rodrick has managed to find a large lead, managed to clear that huge teal group in the bottom right corner, and is now poised to basically harass or be annoying. Juicey forced to commit to these large shapes. No easy way out. Well, he could have made a 3x2 there, but
something that you could have done, but
true.
It's getting down to the wire and blah.
Looks like Rodrick taking his
Rodney,
first
you weren't
point
bullied
here.
enough in middle school. Let's go again.
It's really amazing how well this came together as well, because I had this in mind, the design, while I was working out the netcode. And it's like, okay, we have to test the netcode to make sure that it works, which that took some doing. There were a lot of desyncs originally. But then it's like, okay, but then probably the mode won't be very fun, so we're gonna have to fix it. But it was pretty fun almost immediately. It was very surprising. Or maybe not so surprising, but I was happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you never know. Like, until a human being plays it, you simply do not know.
And I do have a little bit of puzzle game design experience. I've made another puzzle game before, and I've played a lot of Mr. Pans and other puzzle games.
Sure.
And we were talking in the pre-stream. Some influence for this comes from board games, because I like board games where you can put pieces in the shared thing and block each other, and this game is very much, if you look on right now, there's a lot of blocking and disruption happening, but also people have a lot of time to find these little victories, like setting something up and then okay, I did it, or oh, I see they're trying to do this and I'm going to stop them, and it's just the whole time through very pleasant to look at as well. Yeah, just look, it's all pretty, and it's the beach, and we're vibing.
Love the vibe. This game does, the versus mode of this reminds me of Blockus a little bit, or like Blockus in reverse. That's a game where you basically have a pool of tetraminos. They're not really tetraminos, they're all sorts of shapes. And you're trying to place as many as you can on your board, but it's a shared board, so you're interacting with your opponent all the time. Just like Rodrick, sniping and then immediately clearing that piece really expertly, actually. Actually, in the end game, Juicey has to find a way to clear this pink shape, but Rodrick, actually cutting it in half like that, I actually don't feel like that did a whole lot. But Juicey doesn't have a strong answer, so we're just gonna keep on slapping pieces on it until it turns into soup, I guess.
Yeah, this part of the game is very interesting because it really does, it's difficult to finish out your clear. So while you are waiting for your right pieces, you want to mess your opponent up as much as possible and not mess yourself up too much. And that's something that you also don't want to do nothing, because when the time runs short, you might say, okay, I've got a lead, I'm going to wait. But sometimes your opponent, if you stopping them, they can go crazy and come back.
I've also noticed that people who are in the end game, if your opponent's ahead, they're able to apply a lot more attention to what you're doing. Whereas in the early game, if you're even, you're sort of working on your own shapes first, hoping to establish that lead. Because if you're able to take time away and read the screen, you're just going to have better piece placements than your opponent. It's just how it's gonna happen.
Rodney, you're a doofus.
Doofus? That's mean.
I'm a goober, not a doofus.
You don't even like goobers. We had this talk about the spider doppelganger. Wow,
he's too much of a goober.
Get out of here.
Too much of a goober. You heard it here first, folks.
I should mention that this game, we did make it in 2 weeks. I read a blog post which is called "Make and Release Lots of Small Games Before Making a Big One," written by Tyler Glaliol, and I was like, this makes a lot of sense. So this was a small project, but one that we have a little bit of previous experience in. We've already drawn stuff and made stuff, so it came together really well. Let me know when you're ready, actually, I guess, because it's complicated.
All set,
everyone's good
actually.
To go? Okay, I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, start.
Alrighty, we have another sparse board, which does mean that like a lot of the simpler shapes that you can make with like L and a 2x1, or a pair of 3x1s, all those clears are on the table without your opponent like interrupting you. BoatsAndJoes does have this huge pink shape, but snips off the end really well.
Mm-hmm. It can be a little hard to get just like how pieces are supposed to tessellate to snip off any we'll call them split ends.
Yes. And that's something, if you have played a lot of Dr. Thongs like we have, that's actually a difference between this game and that game. This game, the boards are a lot messier, and it does test that skill a lot more of being able to read what the heck is going on.
No, it's absolutely a skill. Like, I only have one game in the wider just overload you with information sort of genre. Like, that's Mr. Driller, but you throw me a panel and expect me to understand like where the matches are in that? Nah. Brain too slow.
Brain too slow? I don't know if that's true. You're a brain genius. Come on.
You know what? I'll take the compliment, even if I think it's a lie.
Okay, I did.
Oh, very clean clear.
Yeah, I cleared out my yellow a lot before I cleared out my red, which can put you in a lot of trouble. But in this case, I got good pieces, so it was okay.
That was pretty convincing at a minute 24 left on the clock. So that match is about a minute 15.
Pretty clean starting board.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm ready to go again in 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, this one, it's kind of a medium board.
Yeah. There's a lot of stray orphan pieces in the center of the board, especially for BoatsAndJoes.
Yes.
Ardrox pieces are thankfully a little more spread out. But BoatsAndJoes has committed to some fairly large mid-board shapes.
Yeah, I don't like what I've done so far. I'm going to try to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
It can be hard to fix these sometimes because you're pretty limited on what colors you're dealt.
Mm-hmm. I've also found some opponents are also just
certain people
very brutal about giving you the time and the space to actually do any of these.
Can't imagine what that's like.
No, you could never imagine it. You've never encountered it. It's never happened.
All my friends are very nice.
They love playing games with you. You see, they love playing games that you've played before, that you know anything about. They definitely don't ambush you with a bracket at the 11th hour.
No. Y'all are in for one when finally do.
My goodness.
All right, BoatsAndJoes cleared off most of it, but we do have some stragglers here that are kind of problematic.
On L, right L.
Ooh, okay. Oh, we're gaming.
The 3 orphan pieces for bottom left have me unreasonably concerned.
Oh,
You'd be surprised.
The concern is extremely reasonable.
Okay, everything seems deeply concerning to me in this, so I don't know what the barometer is.
Joe did get away with it a little bit. His opponent did not react to him building a really large ship, so it's like the real, like, you have to have the bandwidth to like have the attention to look at your opponent's screen and be like, All right. How am I going to interact with you right now? Because if you clear this shape, then I'm sunk. Speaking of which, this big blue shape, if Ardrox draws a... Oh my god! All right. Now the game is definitely... It could be anyone's game.
So, my thought process on it is if I have gotten too into my rabbit hole or my one-track thinking, I'm just like, okay, that's ruined. Fine. I'm going to find your biggest structure, do like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
It's also kind of interesting. You can sometimes like put a piece inside their piece, and then they have to clean it up for you.
Exactly.
So if you don't know what to do with the piece, they can take care of it.
I just kind of like do it out of spite in the aftermath.
That was really close. That can't have been more than 4 tiles apart.
No, I was like home stretch there.
Well, congratulations for winning your second game in tournament.
Yes.
Of your own video game.
I am not, between the two of us, Luna, our artist, is the stronger player. Luna, I would say, so their best clear, they had 22 seconds left, so they took 1 minute and 38 seconds to clear the very hard board.
Mm-hmm.
Very good clear on their part, and they're very good at it.
We're going to take a brief break here because I want to tell you all about upcoming events here at Puzzle Wednesday. You'll see on the screen November 17th, you are here. We are playing Dr. Thongs, Righter of Wrongs. The only free, well, one of 2 only free indie puzzle games with beautiful rollback netcode and a great shared board kind of vibe. November 22nd, that is next week, we are playing Puzzle Stadium. This is like Puyo, if Puyo were baseball. Which I realize does not help you conceptualize what this game is like. But if you are batting and you create a chain, you can get a bunch of runs. And if you're on defense and you get a chain, you offset some of that. And if you get more, then those are outs. And then you swap sides. Just like you're playing baseball. It's great. It's on the Super Famicom. We'll be playing on Flightcade. This game's kind of a hoot. It's got colored garbage. So it's a little bit easier than traditional Puyo because you can match your garbage to pieces you already have. The garbage can glue your formations together and let you clear in sort of unexpected ways. It's kind of a neat game. And if you are new to Puyo, if you can't really chain past 4 or 5, this is a great game for you to play in tournament because those weaknesses in your play are just not going to matter in this sort of game. November 29th, we have Soldam. This is sort of like versus Othello. Each player are going to get blue and red candy, and you're trying to gather up the candy of your color by dropping pieces. And anytime you make a sandwich of 2 colors, they're going to flip to the colors on the edges. However many lines you clear in that manner, you're going to send that many -1 over to your opponent in the reverse pattern. So how you clear determines what garbage your opponent is getting. So you're going to try and mix them up, prevent them from clearing. It's a great game. We really look forward to playing that here at Puzzle Wednesday. And of course, we have some games coming later in December. I don't have a slide for you, but I can tell you. I don't have a slide for December, but I will tell you we're doing 2. We're doing December 6th. We have Hamster Scramble. We played the NetPlay beta, but it's out, baby. Like, you can play for real. It's on Steam. It's great. It's got great netcode. Got great gameplay. I think it's a blast. I think it's a hoot. You can go check it out on Steam. Just search Hamster Scramble. Maybe somebody will put a link in the chat. That'd be really helpful. And on December 15th, what, Juicey? Tell me all about it.
I want to preface this one because this is a bracket more for staff than it is for anyone. But we've canonized it a couple years in a row. We're doing the NES version. And I say it's for staff because staff players are the real sicko.
Your mic is kind of cutting out, Chief.
Damn.
I love you, but the title of the game didn't make it. We're playing Wario's Woods on December 15th. And a lot of the staff here at Puzzle Wednesday are nightmarishly good at Wario's Woods. This game will absolutely put you in jail and prevent you from having any fun. It's just brutal. It's just a slugfest. I'm sorry. You people are playing a knife fight, sinking in mud, and then you're like, why don't you come down here and enjoy this game in the mud with me? And I'm like,
so much fun.
No,
It is.
I'm playing my sunshiny game about house music, hot men, and rectangles. And that's all I desire.
Whoa.
That's all I need.
Are you not saying Wario's hot?
Wario, let me tell you, I'm just saying that Wario, I don't need him in a thong. He's fine the way that he is. He's certainly not a righter of wrongs. You know, he's not a righter of wrongs.
You know, it depends on the game.
Well,
Yes.
that's going to do it for upcoming events. We're going to be getting back into matches
Wario's
very
Woods
soon.
is one of my favorites. So
Hell yeah.
But it's very interesting because in Wario's Woods, it's very clear that Wario is the one messing up your board and bringing the ceiling down and dropping all the monsters on you. But in Dr. Thongs, it's a little bit more ambiguous. Is Dr. Thongs the person messing up the board? Or perhaps Mr. Pants messed up the board and Dr. Thongs is helping you to fix it? As I think we've agreed that it's like therapy. Dr. Thongs is a licensed medical practitioner, and this is the method by which Dr. Thongs delivers treatment.
This is how he decompresses after the work week.
That's right.
Are we on winners round 4? Is that where we are? We're technically just round 4. We're all winners here. It's winners round
The
4.
round robin rounds are a suggestion.
Alrighty. Rodrick, if you'd like to join my game, I'm sure you have. There you go. You're a champion. I think I got audio. No, I gotta unmute it. And then oh, you don't have footage. I guess I should probably stream the game to you, huh? Bet you'd like that.
When we first got into It's Mr. Pants, and we were constantly finding new and upsetting details about It's Mr. Pants.
1 second. Ready, Rodrick? 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Yes, this is the default Godot menu, the online one. The other menus look a little bit nicer. The online menu, I made it and then I jumped right into making the net code. And once I was done with the net code, I was like, this menu is fine. You won't see the menu unless you're a little bit technically minded anyway, because you have to do a little bit of port forwarding or radmin to play online in this game, just because there are no servers running for it. Maybe someday. But anyway, like I mentioned before, this was a 2-week project, and it was done not only to have a cool game to play, which we did absolutely accomplish, but also to learn some stuff about, like, the hardest thing in the game was actually not the netcode. It's the thing that when two pieces of the same color are next to each other, they like join together. That was strangely incredibly difficult because we were unfamiliar with how it worked. But now we know how it works, so we'll be able to do it again in the future more easily.
All right. I will say they're playing very respectful of each other. Like, the entire first half of this round has just been like slowly chipping away at their own work, and I'm surprised given that both these players are very interactive oriented.
They're just ready to explode soon. They're also, even though you can't necessarily see it, there's a constant internal battle of, okay, this would help me, but it would also help them, and I don't want to help them. So that can be a consideration as well. Attacking your opponent by not helping them.
Well,
it's actually
true.
hard to do sometimes.
Yeah. I still expected at least more attempts at. Okay. We got
like, for
got
example,
Sam Show standoff here.
Yeah, like Ratttz wants to clean up this red shape on the bottom, but by doing that, it would absolutely help clean up the blue shape at the same time because they're right next to each other. So that's something that you have to figure out what the heck you're gonna do about it. But you want your own shapes to be next to each other, and you don't want your opponent's shapes next to yours most of the time. Unless you're forcing them to clean it up for you.
I like Rodney's odds here.
As a very tactical blue square placement in the upper right. Look at that shape. Just, okay, well, Ratttz cleaned it up like it was nothing, but it wasn't so easy, maybe. Oh my goodness. This is really tense. It's very close between the two players. I think Ratttz is a little bit ahead, but now it's like even. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I kind of had my money on Rodney there.
So close. Yes. So when you make a 3x2 or bigger rectangle, the rectangle will clear. A 2x2 square is not big enough. And your goal is to eliminate all of your two colors from the board. So for Ratttz, who is on the left, Ratt's colors are red and yellow, and the player on the right, their colors are always green and blue. And you can eliminate colors either by placing other pieces on top of them or by making the rectangles to clear them off. And you cannot place a piece on top of another piece of the same color. You have to put it on top of a different color or an empty space. And if time runs out, you can see the timer in the bottom middle in the lower right. If time runs out, the person who has the fewest tiles of their colors remaining is the winner. So it's difficult near the end because it's like, okay, well, I want to place pieces to clear pieces, but that actually temporarily puts me farther behind until I can clean it up. So kind of an interesting thing. You can see in the top, that big rectangle, it's almost rectangle shape, which is great, but it's near the edge of the board, which is bad because it restricts your piece placements around there. It's a lot easier to clean up a shape in the middle of the board, like the yellow shape in the middle there, because you can put pieces anywhere around there. Although you might help to clean up the green shape at the same time, which would be bad for the yellow player.
Ratttz really made some big commitments here, and I'm wondering if they're not going to sink her. She's got most of the pinks off the board.
Oh my goodness, that yellow got a lot messier when that blue got put in the middle of it. Now it's like two separate shapes. Probably you could try to clear them both at the same time, but you would need like pretty specific pieces to do it. Sometimes in this situation, it's good to just like plonk your other color on top of it. Like this is red now. The yellow thing, it was a good idea, but it didn't work out.
Knowing when to pivot is important.
Yes. Wow, these games are going like so quick. Both of these players, look how much time is left and look how empty the board is. 40 seconds left and the board is nearly empty.
Okay, Rodney's vying for like one more clear here.
And Rodney has no more blue left. So when there's no more blue left, that's actually like you're restricted a lot because you need exactly the right piece, which they got. My goodness.
We're... Gosh. I feel like we're in the Cold War era of this one.
Yes, this is a thing that is like... Now, all of a sudden, the game is testing a completely different skill, and it's like handling the situation can be, oh my goodness.
The biggest thing sinking Rodney is he had so many pieces left over.
Yes. So knowing how to handle that situation is by itself a very important skill. Sorry, go ahead.
Here's a question for a scenario like that. Do you have any measure that forces a move, or could Rodney have just chosen not to play?
Yeah, so there is no direct punishment for if you don't place a piece, but you are indirectly punished because if you do not act, your opponent can do whatever they want. And if they can do whatever they want without interference, they usually can clean up the board in a surprisingly short amount of time if they're good at the game, which is something that I found during testing. The most humiliating defeat I've ever experienced was I have 5 seconds left, I will do nothing. Oh no, I've lost.
I don't know. I think he could have maybe just like held his bearings so he didn't press as much as he did.
Yes, you have to. It's like there's a certain period of time, like 1 second left, 2 seconds left. It could be the right call, but you have to decide and weigh, like, is it the right time now or not? It depends on what pieces you have coming up. What I like to do is I like to start another shape in a different spot rather than, like, you can focus on the one piece that's left, but if you make 2 shapes, you can accept a lot more pieces that way. And also it keeps the shapes smaller and harder to disrupt. So like in this situation right now, Ratttz has basically 4 shapes happening. There's the reds on the left and the yellows on the right. But if you don't get exactly the right piece to clean up, Ratttz, you can see, put those 2 red at the top middle, making a new shape rather than messing up the good shape that was already there.
I see.
So what you're doing is you are making more messes. The game forces you to do that, but you want to make messes that can be cleaned up quickly and with a lot of different pieces. So that's the end game skill. And the air quotes easy mode in this game has a small board and it really tests that skill a lot. So if you play a lot of easy mode, I think it's something that you can get better at more quickly.
You know, this is something tangentially related. One of my favorite things to throw at like guideline players in terms like just Tetris.
That was a good
games,
disruption on the blue piece. Sorry.
It's something like Magical Tetris Challenge or Sega Tetris 99, because the verses in those are almost entirely predicated on you're going to be playing through disadvantage the entire time. There is no such thing as a clean board state. Your skill set is how do you make the worst of bad situations and cut losses.
Yes, that one just there. There was the big green shape on the bottom, and it's like we wanted to chop it up, but wasn't getting dealt any blue, but then got the blue, but it's like, so what I would have done is turned the blue sideways, and that would have been a clean, like, unconventional way to cut up the shape, but it's so hard to find those moves when the timer is so close to the end and there's the announcer telling you, like, hey, you're running out of time. That's a kind of, like, it's a really good vibe. Like, you have the beach, which is relaxing, and the upbeat house music, but the stuff that is happening in the game is rather upsetting at times. Like, you're going to have a lot of failures and a lot of successes. And it I don't know. That was a really exciting set between 2 really strong players.
Yeah. All right, so it's you and me. I have this set up.
Okay, I need to join like this. All right.
And we're ready for you.
All right, give me 1 second. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, and there are other parts of the game, like at some point I would like to on screen show the credits screen because it has some special art and it's truly incredible. It's possibly the most amazing art that I've ever seen. I don't want to hype it up too much, but it's transcendental.
That's incredible. I'm looking forward to it. Yes, Taranuke, 3x2 is the smallest rectangle you're required to make. You can make larger ones, but ideally the rectangles you are making are as small as possible, so that way you can clear them very fast, and your opponent can't interact with them. Both these players, however, you know, we're doing some big gaming today.
hate
Doing
this
some big
shape.
shapes. Oh my god, beautiful clear from Juicey. Clearing off like a solid eighth of the board.
Turned all of that yellow.
Just like sometimes we do go big, you know? Big,
Yes.
big.
Sometimes I give Boats and Joes a clear.
True,
Yes,
that can happen.
That can happen.
You should
Sometimes I cover up Juicey's shapes just because I'm feeling nice that day.
I certainly appreciate it.
sometimes
in that
Juicey
moment.
will let a huge shape in the upper left corner go in uninteracted.
There's a lot of things I'll let slide.
It's a lot of the amount of screen watching in this game honestly is a lot of
no,
work.
that helped you. Okay.
Yeah. Damn it.
You.
Ooh, robot zone.
Oh no, the robot zone.
You're out of it. You're only in
Okay,
it for a
good.
very brief moment. Juicey's a little bit behind, but Boats and Joes doesn't have an easy way of clearing most of these shapes. We keep on drawing like L's and squares.
I keep getting pinks.
Well, the pink's a great
I
color.
want a yellow to cut off my. Yeah.
You know,
I made a decision to help both of us
No,
with that green shape.
I
there.
don't know if that's how anything, but I also love how this game reading the piece queue is actually way harder because you have to you can't just look at your next piece. If you look at your next piece, you're going to lose. You need to look at the piece after that as well. And having the presence of mind to do that while your opponent is like, hey, what if I ruined everything?
That's what I say all the time.
Hey, what if you had a terrible time? Hey, what if 1-0 second Joe taking a point over the overcommitted board?
I'm not even going to take a single point in this. I just want to make sure that this set I don't get actually like.
Oh, you don't want to
let him
get quoted.
Clear when
Yeah.
That's my only goal.
Yes, the piece at the bottom is the next one. Asa. It's a little bit disorienting.
It is
if
the
you
same as it's
Mr. Pants.
yeah.
Yeah, some of the things in this game that are disorienting, like the fact that the pieces come in
At random yeah.
orientations.
I actually like
That's
that.
also Mr. Pants.
I think it's great for this style of game where you're interacting on a flat board where pieces don't drop. I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Rare had a lot of time to work on It's Mr. Pants, because it was originally, for those not in the know, it was going to be a Donkey Kong game called Donkey Kong Coconut something. What was it?
Crackers?
Coconut Crackers, yes. But then they got bought by Microsoft and their relationship with Nintendo dissolved.
The steel shape.
That whole time while they were working out, like, okay, we're going to rebrand it to Mr. Pants, they were still working on the game. So they came to a really good and cool couple modes. This game is based sort of mostly on Wipeout mode. But that's a really great game that I think if you're okay with having, in the words of our artist, slightly rancid vibes on purpose. It's like a deliberate aesthetic decision to have it look kind of terrible.
What are you it's a beautiful work of art. It's just incredible to look at.
They took great artists and great composers, and like they had the artists like draw with their left hand so that it would look like the way that they wanted it to, or whatever hand was their non-dominant hand. Both of our shapes are so messy, I feel like.
Yeah, Juicey's yellow shape though is a little out of control here.
I'm always out of control.
You know, buddy, one day you'll get back in control. We'll be here for you when that happens, you know?
I at least feel like over the course of the night, I'm getting some of the shapes.
You actually are. You've actually picked up this game.
It's just tough.
Oh no, don't do that to me.
It's a real shame that Rune couldn't make it tonight because Rune's a really strong player too.
No.
Okay, blue. I'm giving up on blue.
No!
Fight me!
Don't say 10.
You're ahead. What are you?
Don't say 10!
Yeah, just don't say it. It's stressful.
Oh,
That's your voice.
It's not my voice. It's I got it from Kenny NL does some audio assets and game assets for for developers, and so the voice pack is from him.
I see.
I don't know if it's his voice either. Maybe he had someone else record it. But the art is all original. The menus, these menus are Godot default menus. But can we go to the go back to the credits screen from here just so we can see?
Yeah, I'm gonna open up the game in a second.
Yeah, just because
I'm already on my way over.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just some lovely. Look at this. Isn't it majestic?
1 second.
Like, You're telling me this isn't some end of Evangelion stuff?
Oh, it absolutely is.
Good. Absolutely good. Glad.
Yeah, so it's this. You also get this as the title screen if you clear very hard mode. For the rest of the session, you have this as your title screen. So if you want to flex on people, you show the title screen with that background, and you just show.
Are we on?
And you post something meaningful, you know.
Winners round 4. Okay, fantastic.
Like, I'm not afraid of the sea.
Do we have audio? Looks good, actually. All right, we're in it. 3, 2, 1. Let's jam, as it were. Where's my controls? Oh, there we go. Oh, are we in co-op? We're in co-op. My bad. Listen. We do a little bit of joshing, okay?
Sometimes we just love to cooperate. Yeah. So for anyone who's curious, the modes there's 3 multiplayer modes. One of them is versus, which is what we've been playing, and there's 2 co-op modes. One of them you have split colors, like in versus mode, and the other one you both get all the colors. Which, in my opinion, that's the easier of the 2. And the overall difficulty of co-op mode is only slightly easier than playing it in single player. Even though the board is the same level of mess and you have 2 people, you have to coordinate. You don't get quite as much time either. So in any case, the game is quite challenging, which everyone has noticed. But people seem to be really enjoying it. As I can tell that Ratttz and Ardrox are both having a great time right now, wouldn't you say?
I'm having a blast. I've never had a bad time playing this.
But did Ardrox play this before? Because not self-centered, but they snapped to a lot faster.
That's a good question. I don't know.
This game is relatively it's not. It's harder than it looks, I think, because that was our experience. We all, in our group of friends, we all tried it pretty much, and there was just a day where someone came in and they're like, what the heck, there are 4 people playing this game that I've never seen before, Mr. Pants.
Yeah, why not?
But yes, it was a really great time, and it's like it was a lot of a learning process for all of us, and we're all teaching each other, like, oh, I think it's better if you do this kind of thing. So
no, that is a treasured experience. Like, being able to dig into something that's relatively unknown, like already written off other players, and just as a community kind of digging through it.
This is yes.
Okay, we're close here.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of gaming happening right now. There's still a pretty decent amount of time left, but these shapes are just interconnected in kind of an interesting way, where it's hard to clean them up without also helping your opponent cleaning up their shapes at the same time. Because red is right next to green, and yellow is right next to green, and blue is right next to covering up the yellow there. So the blue is cleared, but so is the yellow. So the game is rapidly approaching a conclusion unless people start making each other's lives a miserable experience.
Oh, there's pink left.
Oh my goodness. Reacting to the corner being chopped off that piece and just perfectly making the rectangle. That was nice.
Okay. Like, Ratttz had a very early lead there, and I kind of see what he means. Like, even if you have that strong of an advantage, suddenly your moves to like close your game out will inevitably opponent. And Ardrox ended up being maybe 10 squares more full than Ratttz by the end of it.
Yes, you always got to be it's interesting how the game changes, because at the beginning, right now, look at this board, it's so messy. It's really difficult to read. You just have to look at your mess and sort out, like, okay, I can clean it up like this. And then as the board gets emptier and shapes start to form, you can start to look at what your opponent wants to do, and it's like, oh, I see that my opponent has made this big red shape or this big yellow shape, and I know what I want to do, and my piece that I just got won't help me, so I'll use it to disrupt them. And you know, the game isn't very long, but it goes through these different like, you're switching up and
you have distinct
reacting.
phases.
Yes. And it's not just like, okay, first this happens and then this happens and then this happens. It's like, oh, my opponent right now did this, so I need to play differently than if they hadn't done that. And I think that's the sign of a good game. And
Oh, absolutely.
that's something that I like about these kinds of shared board games.
Speaking of shared board games, I think another one that shares like a lot of the same, every move has ramifications for you and your opponent, is absolutely Weltris.
Weltris.
Have you played that?
I have not played it yet. I have seen Ratttz was talking about it a while back, and I looked at it. I was like, this looks really fun. I think I should play it.
So the biggest thing that it does is whenever you stack outside the center well and it starts building up on your wall,
Look
it
at
gets
these
a
pieces.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, I just point out these pieces are all really close to the edge, so that can be really difficult to clean up. Like, look, that L's the wrong shape, so it won't fit. Oh no, the misdrop made the donut instead of the rectangle. Okay, it cleaned up. Sorry, I interrupted the
No. This, by all means, isn't more
stuff is
important.
happening. Yeah, the finishing up the...
Ardrox is forced to just expand so much.
Yeah, so I think like making a second shape rather than one big one like this, because when you run out of your first color, that changes everything, because now you only have one color. So you can't, like, making these big shapes is now much worse than it was before, because before, if you have a big shape, you can chop it up. When you have only one color, you can't anymore. So yeah, at the end, when you, instead of making the big shape, you make a bunch of little shapes, in my opinion. But that's okay.
I will say my knee-jerk Puyo player bias almost your reward for making something that big, but also I get, look,
Listen, big.
Yeah.
All right, closed when I actually need to play yet another game. We're doing back to back.
Hello.
You and I are playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta stream to the Discord. That way other human beings can view it with their eyeballs.
So what the fuck are you saying?
What are you saying? Are you saying words right now? I'm not even listening.
I don't think I've shown anyone in Puzzle Wednesday what the game looked like before it had cool art, but it was just like, so, you know, it was just like squares, and it looks so good. It's incredible. I can't believe I worked on this, you know. Well, I'm so happy, and yeah, it was really rewarding to do. So I'm really happy that we got to do it.
Yeah. And I'm over the moon with it. I think it's just fantastic.
It has hit a certain audience who just really is loving the way that it looks and the way that it plays. Or maybe sometimes I'll play a game and I'll go like, man, this is really hard. I don't like how hard it is, but I find it like very compelling at the same time. And then when you play it more, it just feels nice and relaxing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Juicey, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Ready is subjective, but
ready is subjective. Yeah, I hate this board actually. Like, unironically,
it's more empty space than I think I would normally see on a board. But the way that the shapes are laid out, is
first move. It's all downhill from here for you.
Something interesting is that you actually can't see your opponent's whole queue. You can only see the one piece that they're holding out now, which honestly, even if you could see their whole queue, it would probably not be possible for almost anyone to read the whole board and your queue and their queue at the same time. But there are a couple of situations where it's like, man, it's like you have to you want to generally disrupt them. You don't necessarily know exactly what they've got coming up, but you know that, like, okay, if it's anything other than like the specific one dot, I can plonk a one dot in their big shape, and it becomes very hard to clear that way. Although, if someone does that to you, probably the best way to fix it is you put your own piece of the opposite color in that same place, and you just make a big hole on top of their little hole, and then it gets easier to fix that way. Man, this red and yellow, difficult. Because there's not that much, but the shapes are really awkward. Like that red one on the bottom left, that shape is really hard to fill. You need a couple of specific pieces, like you need the correct L, and then you need the correct way to fill in the other gap as well. So yeah, the pieces jutting out from the middle is tough. The best shape, the most flexible shape that you can make is a square, a 2x2 square with one jutting off of it, because that shape can accept many different pieces and still form a rectangle. It can take either L, it can take a single dot, it can take the 3 bent, but you can't make that shape all the time. Sometimes you got to make something a little bit messier. Sometimes you don't want to clear it with a rectangle at all. You just plonk the other color on top and turn it into a different shape, one that you can clear better. That green shape formed right there in the middle. That's the shape I was talking about. Flexible. Now cleared. Oh man, that right side green is... Oh, it's almost 2 rectangles. But it actually is just a big blob, I suppose.
You win.
I would never believe Juicey. It's okay, we'll play Pack Attack soon, and then you'll...
Look, I don't feel like I'm terribly outclassed. It's not like I can't practice to get better.
None of us can agree on what is the best strategy in this game. Like, is it best to focus on the center first? Is it best to focus on the corners? Is it better to disrupt your opponent? Is it better to focus on your own board? There's a couple of things that we all agree on. You don't want to cover up your opponent's pieces, and you don't want to place pieces into the empty space. You always want to be covering up your own mess to change the little individual pieces into bigger blocks that are easier to turn into rectangles. So that's like the basics, and we agree on that, but there's a lot of subtleties that we're still getting used to. Also, we can't agree on what's the best song.
They're all
really
great.
Like this one.
Yeah.
This one is the highest energy, which is great and good. This is the one that's in the trailer. I can't figure out, like, if you're chopping off the side of a piece, but you're chopping off the side of it in such a way that you've left this piece dangling off the side now, is that worth it? It kind of depends. I think it's generally worth it. You'd rather have a smaller shape than a bigger shape, even if the small shape is a bit messy. That blue on the left is, yeah, very harassable. I do not envy clearing any of these blue shapes, actually. There's only two, but they're very weird.
We try our best out here.
There are more green shapes left, but they're more vaguely rectangular. However, look at how little red and yellow there is, and look how much time can now be devoted to harassing because Ratttz can just relax and use the extra processing power to really disrupt. Although you gotta be careful to actually disrupt and not just be helpful, you know? Oh my goodness, the big red clear. Now, be very careful about clearing out that last red, because once you clear out the last red, you don't get red anymore, and that definitely reduces your flexibility. On the other hand, it puts you very close to winning because you only have one color left, so it's just a decision you have to make. When is the right time? It depends on what is in your queue as well. Ratttz has decided, I win. Spinning on Juicey.
I would never simply just chill out. Listen, you got a few seconds, got a few moments. Let's just enjoy the moment. Spin a piece.
I don't get to enjoy the moment. I'm still stressing.
You're still stressing? We're at the beach. We're all with our friends, Juicey.
I work outside. I was at the beach all week. You know what the color of the sky out there is in Florida right now? It's gray.
It's gray?
It's very gray outside right now.
I can't believe it.
We've made a journey to a tropical location with palm trees and lovely water and lovely sunset.
Better than here.
We got one more match for you tonight. The last match.
For
all the marbles. We got Ardrox v Rodrick. And then we will.
How round robin works.
What do you mean? Pretty round. It's decently round.
Okay.
So this game, you can also, I think I mentioned before the 3 multiplayer modes, but there's also 3 single player modes too. And you can play it single player, and you can also play in your web browser. So you don't have to download anything. You can just fire up single player, and you can play 3 different difficulties. You've got a small board, you've got the normal size board with just 3 colors and less mess. And most people find that pretty challenging if they've not played a game like this before. Heck, I find it challenging, and I made it, and I've played a lot of Mr. Pants and this game. And then there's very hard mode, which is the really hardcore, you got to work your way up to it. Mm-hmm. And most of the time you just play it. You don't necessarily expect to win, but you have a nice time playing. But then when you do win, it feels very sweet.
All right, we're ready for you whenever you want to start playing. Thank you.
This board is very... Look at the checkerboard of blues in the middle. That's the hardest kind of shape to... You can't make it into a rectangle directly. You pretty much have to cover it up instead. But if you have a checkerboard of both of your colors, that gets difficult because it's like hard to cover up and hard to turn into a rectangle. So you have to just wait until you get like the right pieces, work on other parts first.
Yeah, discarding in this game is way better than it looks. Like, if you are having trouble, like there's a shape that you just have no idea what to clear, you could just plop your own pieces on your own opposite color and just be like, I hope I draw. I hope I draw what I need to advance my board. It's not a big deal. It's a great way to progress. But we have a bit of a fist fight going on center board here.
Yeah, such exciting fist fight.
Yeah.
I think, and you can see the board is like clearing out, and even the parts that aren't cleared out, they're a lot less checkerboardy than they were before. Instead of individual pieces, it's now bigger blocks, which you can kind of see them forming into things that your opponent might want to disrupt, potentially. I don't know whose position I like better. I think they're both pretty good.
I feel like Rodrick's got a small lead that's starting to grow, but a lot of his shapes are kind of awkward to deal with still. He needs sort of specific answers for them. And he's committing... Oh, that's a great clear.
Wow, these are some really good clears happening. So exciting. When you clear, you are put in lock delay for a little bit, but while that lock delay is happening, your opponent can clear some pieces, and their clears won't. They'll be rolled into that same lock delay. So I suspect that timing exactly when you do your clear might be something that becomes important if you're looking for like the supreme edge, but most of the time I don't think it's worth, like, you just want to place your pieces and get, most of the time you have some shape on the board where you want a specific piece. Like on the right, that red piece, you need specific pieces to clear out that red shape on the right. So you're going to be wanting to dig through your queue and find them, basically. You don't want to wait around. You want to be advancing your... Oh, that was a good disruption on the...
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely.
Preventing that red from getting cleared. What could have been an awesome rectangle is now a gosh darn mess.
It sure is. But Rodrick's having a really hard time advancing amidst all this disruption. Ardrox managed to get a pretty solid advantage, and because he is much more willing to just wait and not throw pieces down, managed to avoid committing too much material to the board. We're back into match number 2.
We got a mouse cursor on the screen.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
It's the person streaming. Actually, it's Rodrick's mouse.
Yeah, we gotta find out. Is it your mouse cursor?
No, it's not mine.
Is it the streamers? Is it chats? Is it the restreamers? None of us can know.
The stray.
That was a nice big blue clear, and it went off without a hitch.
Yeah, when you get the large clears and your opponent like lets you, that always feels like you just feel great.
That was almost an enormous green. Pretty good green there, but in order to make it, you had to stick that blue L in an awkward... Now you have a blue snake going through the middle because of that. But these kind of shapes are definitely clean-upable.
It's kind of interesting how Rodrick he's had a lot of different opportunities to clear out the yellow shapes in the upper right, but he doesn't want to help out Ardrox with the teal group up there.
That's true.
It's really awkward. You have to draw the little L, the lowercase L, to cram in there, to really clean up that the teal shape.
It's interesting in this mode because in the normal game, you have 4 colors that you might draw. In this game, you only have 2, so you're a little bit more likely to get the piece that you want if you're waiting for a specific one, compared to playing in single player.
Yep.
On the other hand, your board is getting disrupted constantly, so that makes it worse to wait for a piece. You want to clear that shape out of there before it gets turned into a much less nice shape. That was a nice green clear.
We're
correctly identifying which L you're holding.
Yeah, under pressure.
Very, very good player there.
Oh, beautiful clear from Rodrick. Unfortunately, left with a bit of endgame awkwardness. Oh my god, Ardrox, this huge shape. Yeah, we have a little bit of a fight, but we've erased so many of our opponent's pieces while trying to disrupt. Yeah, Ardrox is just chilling out, just like, listen, you're gonna do this to me.
Yes, please clean up my mess. In It's Mr. Pants, the tutorial message is clean up Mr. Pants's naughty mess.
Oh no.
Which when we found that, we were very upset by that, or at least I was. This is not a naughty mess, but it is something. Look at these shapes. They're just growing. We're going the reverse direction we want to. In Despot, you don't want to sit still. You sometimes have to go backwards a little bit in order to go forwards and making the right call.
What a video game. Congratulations, Ardrox. I'm going to briefly, before we go and remind you about upcoming events here at Puzzle Wednesday, I just want to congratulate all the folks who made it onto the podium tonight. We have congratulations to me. I got top. I'm number one. BoatsAndJoes, the person who made the game. Congratulations on your silver. Your very first silver here at Puzzle Wednesday, from my understanding.
That's true. Yes. I have entered before, but I've never performed quite so well, so it does help if you make the game a little bit.
And congratulations to Ardrox, getting a bronze here at Puzzle Wednesday. And
all of those games were a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a blast. I love this game. I think it's a lot of fun. And I love interacting with other folks on a shared board, getting into little scuffles, and I like how fighting isn't always good. Like, you're going to have to really think about the value of each interaction a lot.
Or you can place and place and place and hope that, you know, things become rectangular shaped. So sometimes that helps your opponent, but it's fun for everyone.
You enjoyed watching this, want to go play for yourself, you can head on over to boatsandstudios.itch.io/Dr-Thongs. Do you have any socials or for Lunaticker?
Yes. So Lunaticker's Twitter is BeastGodDK, all one word, DK as in Donkey Kong, Beast God as in Beast God, all one word, no spaces, no underscores or anything. And we both have Mastodons. My Mastodon is BoatsAndJoes at mastodon.gamedev.place, and Luna's is, I don't know, I have to find it. But yeah, go ahead and follow us, and you can also follow people on itch.io. So you can follow my itch.io page, and you can also, the game is also up on Newgrounds. So if you search up Dr. Thongs on Newgrounds, maybe be a little bit careful. You might see some
Newgrounds sure is a spicy site, yeah.
But you can also follow Luna on there. And if we put up another game, you'll see it. So, and I think I mentioned before, it may not be a puzzle game, but we are definitely going to work together again, because we really enjoyed making this game, and we're really happy that everyone's loving watching it and loving the art and loving the emotions that come up when you're trying to just make your nice shapes and your so-called friend has other ideas.
True. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to get into some upcoming events here at Puzzle Wednesday. November 22nd, we have Puzzle Stadium on the Super Famicom. If you like Puyo, but you also want to play baseball at the same time, this is the video game for you. What's up, Juicey? What would you like?
We're doing the Duck Station version.
Doing the Duck Station version. We're doing the PlayStation version.
Yes.
Well, the graphics has Super Famicom. You didn't tell me that. The graphic. It's not right. If you've never played on Duck Station, it's got beautiful rollback netcode and great nat traversal. So it's very easy for you to get into game with anyone. It's just a hoot. We love Duck Station rollback. You can go get it at the GitHub page, whatever that is. I'm sure our lovely TOs will hand you a link when you ask for it. You can just stick your actual legit CD-ROM straight into your computer, and DuckStation will boot up like a charm. You can play with all of your friends on the internet with smooth rollback netcode. Be playing some Puzzle Stadium. It's like Puyo, but you're playing baseball at the same time, where chain links that exceed your opponent's offsetting counts as runs if you're on offense, or outs if you're on defense. And then, of course, you also drop garbage on your opponent, colored garbage that can clear. If colored garbage is adjacent to a clear of the same color, it will also clear. And that can be used to extend all sorts of really interesting chains that are totally unique to this game. It's also much easier to get into than Puyo because it's not quite so punishing. Your opponent doesn't really kill you, they just score more points than you. But if you'd like to get into a Puyo or a chain matching game, this is a great one to get started on. November 29th, we have Soldam. This classic Jalico arcade game is all about gathering up red and blue candy by flipping colors, by making little sandwiches, just like Othello. And of course, every time you send lines, you send over that many lines -1 over to your opponent, and you decide their garbage pattern. So you can either send huge attacks that are very easy to clear, or small attacks that could target any column. Soldam is a great game to, enjoy some footsies, interact with your opponent, look at their board. There's a shared piece queue. You can fight over pieces with your opponent. It's a great game. We highly encourage you to go check it out. And of course, don't forget next month, December. I don't have a slide for you, but I do want to remind you that we are also playing Hamster Scramble, December 6th. This fantastic puzzle bobble inspired game features player interaction by hopping over to your opponent's board and punching them. We have, you get to select your own next piece because they're all hamsters running around in a giant arena that your character is running around in. This is a great time. It's available right now on Steam, and it's got great netcode as well. Also, December 15th, we're going to be playing Wario's Woods, the Puzzle Wednesday favorite. This game is a lot. This game is about absolutely destroying your opponent, locking them in jail, preventing them from doing anything by chaining, by clearing diamonds, by building clears of 5 or more. Wario's Woods on the NES, it's a hell of a time. We're going to be playing it December 15th. That's going to do it for us. We're out of here. I hope all of you had a lot of fun. Juicey, have a good time?
As, for getting my teeth kicked in, still liked it a lot.
Yeah. Had a lot of fun, too. This was really worth it. I'm really glad we spent the energy and the time to do it. And for being here, Boats and Joes.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for asking me to give you this lovely birthday present.
Yeah.
And thanks everybody for watching too. Thank you for coming out. It makes all of us very happy.
All right, everybody. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. We'll see you next week. Puzzle Stadium on PS1. Later.